So people on Twitter have frighteningly low reading comprehension skills, okay? It's actually getting bad. Let me show you what today's video is about. This man made a TikTok, and what's very funny is TikTok and Twitter are always on opposite sides of the aisle, and I'm amazed by that. Like there'll be like a viral TikTok, get on Twitter, the exact opposite narrative is being spread, okay? Basically said when the white feminist asks, who set that system up? In reference to him, okay? And he's like, I'm black, I didn't set the system up. And that would be accurate on multiple levels that we'll get to later. But they don't seem to understand what he's getting at here. Because look at this right here. If we back up, they're doing the whole sexism to white women thing. And I'm amazed. Another thing Twitter struggles with is context. Like in context, where would the sexism be coming from here? Like, obviously, people don't understand the point, and I'm going to get to the point just so I don't have to keep telling you what people aren't getting without telling you. The point is, there's a specific genre of white feminists where they can be so stuck on the hating the oppressor that is men that they forget that they're white. And they also forget that race is a factor, meaning they're going to ask a minority who set that system up. When it clearly, it was not him. I'm telling you right now, it was not him. And it was not me either. And it was not my ancestors either. And I'm going to continue, but I'm going to show you a point that like people keep trying to make. It said, dude, the patriarchy didn't magically arrive with the British. It was already in pretty much every group of people, which is true. Like a lot of things that people seem to be taking from this is they think he's saying that black men, let me get big on you, can't be misogynist, which just isn't at all what's being said. And also going off comments and quotes, they seem to think he's saying that black men don't benefit from the patriarchy, which clear, like, again, if you can read, bro, like, let me get a little on you again. This is when the white feminists asked me who set that system up. I don't know where you would get that implication from. So it's like some of these people would literally agree with what it is that he's saying. However, they're choosing to morph the post into something they can argue with. And as you can imagine, that comment section is just a cesspool for racism and, anti-blackness in general, particularly against black men. But as we all know, certain demographics only care about racism when it's against, them specifically. Which honestly, I should just say is most people, unfortunately. But anyways, as far as the fact that, most countries, most territories have a patriarchal system, okay? The thing is, it is not one size fits all of a patriarchy. Like the world isn't all living under the same patriarchy. Our patriarchy is different from North Korea's patriarchy, which is different from Africa's patriarchy, different from Saudi Arabia's patriarchy. Like we're doing different shit. Like it's patriarchy, but it's different shit within it's a different setup of the patriarchy. So when these Americans are tweeting who set that system up, it wasn't collectively men that set up each patriarchy in the world individually. I'm not gonna lie, that would be, patriarchy's bad, but it would kind of be impressive if it was just one group where they're like, this patriarchy's gonna be like this one's gonna be like this one, you know what I mean? And they just kind of like mapped it out. Like that would be impressive. And again, a bone of contention I have with this statement in general is them attributing who set that system up to all men. So, but let's assume for the sake of the argument, they're right for a second. Because again, I want to talk about black men specifically right now. If you're gonna ask a black American man who set that system up, you gotta be dumb as rocks. But there's gotta be just like cans of tuna, like up here. Like there's no way. Like when America was discovered, when this shit was still colonies, nigga, what black person had a say in how anything was set up? Like genuinely and truly, what black person possibly could have been sitting in on the meeting, setting up the system? And that brings in the very important point. Not every man, not even every white man set up the patriarchy. Like even back then, like again, I'm gonna get to like when they say it to men now, but even back then, the patriarchy was created by the people with power. Who were they? Men? Yes, they were people who were men. They were powerful, rich men with money. You know who didn't have money back then in America? Black people. You know who else didn't have money back then? Any other man, woman, obviously, child, obviously, who was impoverished. And does that mean that men or broke men or whatever, poor men, don't benefit from the patriarchy? Not at all. But the point is, the men that set it up were the rich white people. Now, mind you, were the men back then probably super feminists, being like, hey, this isn't right, da da da? Probably not. But you have to understand, even if they were, it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because they didn't have a say in that. Same thing with white supremacy. Like, do all white people benefit from some form of white privilege in one way or another? Yes. And I'm sure some of you probably gonna get mad about me saying that. But yes, the same way all men benefit from some form of male privilege. But these privileges are to varying degrees, okay? Sometimes there's a very wide margin in between. Like the male privilege a black man in Detroit gets is not the same as the male privilege a white man in Beverly Hills gets. It's simply not. And it was designed to be that way. When in the Declaration of Independence or whatever, and they were like, all men are created equal, they didn't believe that shit. They were just yapping for real. And I'm not gonna, if you want to have a competition over who oppresses who more, black men, white women, who do you think is gonna win that? Now look, I'm not gonna get too far into like the whole, suffering politics, but do we really think a black man's misogyny towards a white woman is as powerful as a white woman's racism towards a black man? Like, do we think that in America? Like, genuinely, I want to know, like, if that's what we think. But regardless of that answer, intersectionality, okay, no one's coming out of that interaction unscathed. Like, something, like, in some way, some form, you're oppressing one another. The only people who aren't systematically oppressed, rich, cis, straight white men. Like, those are the only ones who aren't systematically oppressed. You can even argue broke white men, broke seems is such a mean word, but like poor white men are oppressed by rich white men, like objectively, because classism is also a thing, capitalism, all that jazz. So my problem with the who set that system up, and I'm still not even to the nitty gritty. We're out here debating, oh, you set that system up, you set that system up. Half the time you're talking to someone who makes the average salary, which is what? I significantly less than 100K. People whose forefathers did not have a say in the matter. Like, I feel like there's confusion between benefiting from the patriarchy and starting the patriarchy. Maybe even in reinstilling the patriarchy, holding it up, like propping it up, and actually creating and actually setting it up. There's a very big difference between those things, and it doesn't seem like these people on Twitter know that. Like, again, and specifically as to what this guy was talking about, black men didn't get a say. There was no, hey guys, like I think we should just know, like, because we were also oppressed. So him pointing out that a white feminist saying that is a bit crazy is not misogyny. It's not black men thinking they're exempt from misogyny, not them trying to like water down misogyny by saying white women. It's very pivotal to the point that he's making. And I'm telling you this right now, I'm of the belief anyone who says who set that system up is an idiot. But this point, like, it takes it too far. Like saying, like, arguing with the fact that black men didn't set up the system, that's taking it too far. But now I'm going to get more into the nitty gritty of why I think it's a stupid thing to say in general. When was the system set up? When? Give me a year. I'm telling you, it was not a year in which any of us were alive and breathing. And you add that on top of the fact that it was specifically the rich white men who set up the system. Like, who are you talking to in a literal sense? Like, if men say, hey, this sucks, like, this is bad, blah, 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 who set that system up? Literally none of us. Literally none of us. Like, I've never heard who set that system up used in a proper context to where it makes sense. Like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. Like, it's not an argument. You know what I mean? Like, again, a man's complaining about, let's just say, providing. Like, oh, men shouldn't have to provide, da, 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 da. Who set that system up? Are we trying to undo the patriarchy? Are we trying to reduce misogyny? Or are we just okay that it's here? Like, can we get a clear answer on that? Like, who set that system up is a red herring. It's taking away from the point of what's being said. Either what's being said, like, hey, this is something that we shouldn't have to deal with. Either you agree that men shouldn't have to deal with that, or you think men should deal with that. And now, if your reasoning is, oh, because men set the system up, then now you're accepting your place in the patriarchy, which you would argue is worse. So it's like you as a woman, which, I don't mean that in like an offensive way, the term woman. It's like, and again, this is not all women, this is some women. It's like you're going to sit here and complain about the patriarchy and misogyny and all these bad things happen to you. But then when a man's like, you know what, I also don't like the patriarchy, you're going to ask him who set that system up. Now, mind you, are there men who are hypocrites, who don't like certain aspects of the patriarchy but like the other aspects? Sure, fine, and not even sure. Yes, there is, but argue that. Don't ask who set the system up as a gotcha moment because you saw that one white woman say it in that video. And mind you, she's also an idiot because she used it poorly as well. I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm not gonna show you a video, but it was a Jubilee video. It was this dude, because he was stupid, admittedly, but he was like complaining about like, oh, he's like, men have like the highest like unaliving rates, da 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 da. And she was like, and who set that system up? And then it just went silent because apparently he was too dumb to realize how dumb what she said was, or maybe everyone in the room was just stumped by the stupidity, but then dumb niggas on Twitter couldn't tell the difference. Like, it gets to a point where in that's now again historically we should understand how things came to be, like just like the same way we need to understand how slavery happened, you know, how Jim Crow laws, things of sort. We need to understand how certain aspects of misogyny came to pass, came into play. But when we're having conversations about change and improving now, we need to be able to focus on the now. Again, if you want to argue that a man is being hypocritical, call him hypocritical. Say he's being hypocritical in this way. If he says, "Oh, you know, I don't want to pay, I don't want to pay rent. I don't want to be the only one working, blah, blah, blah." Ask him if he would clean up around the house. Ask him if he would cook, take care of his child. And if he says no, then call him an idiot, right? Like these are the simple things. But it's like there are certain things where people think just because like there's like a certain rhythm that people have. Where it's like, who set that system up? They feel there's some rhythm to them saying it. The way they type it out, it feels good coming out of their mouth, off their hands to them. Like it feels good, so they just say it and they think it works every time. But it doesn't, okay? And it's especially frustrating because me, someone who is a feminist, when I so I just think about how mad people get when I say that sometimes. But like when I'm genuinely saying these things, I'm like, oh yeah, men shouldn't have to do this, men shouldn't have to do that. And I genuinely do believe that men should contribute proportionally to other aspects of the household to make women also working and contributing financially even out and make sense. When that's a view I actually have, but when I'm talking about the man side of it, when I get a who set that system up, it's just so counterproductive. Like in an ideal world, we are at the table together discussing these things, but instead it's just like you're trying to dismiss that. And that's not me saying that women are just always dismissing men, because men, of course, do the same thing to women. But the thing is, men doing that to women does not excuse women doing it to men, and vice versa. It's like we're in this endless stream of not listening to each other. So that's how none of these problems ever get solved. It's an endless cycle of, oh, men do X, Y, Z. They don't care about what we have to say. So why do we care about what they have to say? Men see that, oh, women do X, Y, Z. They don't care about what we have to say. Why do we care about what they have to say? And it's just going back and forth, back and forth. And again, the most important thing in reference to this video, niggas simply didn't set the system. Like us, we didn't do it, bro. It was them back then. Now, again, if you want to talk about who's perpetuating the system, fine. If you want to point out the ways that men perpetuate the system, by all means, that's actually productive to the conversation. But saying who set the system up, literally, again, what you're alluding to, not true. Like just simply objectively not true. 99% of the time is also irrelevant to the conversation. And it's just simply a distraction from the point that's actually being brought up. Again, if a man's complaining about something and you don't think he should be complaining about it because you don't think it's bad, then argue why you don't think it's bad. If you do think it's bad, but you think that's due to the patriarchy, then you should be like, hey, yeah, and these other parts of the patriarchy suck too, if you think he's being a hypocrite. Or you could just listen and be like, yeah, I bet that does suck. Like nowadays, it seems like people argue to like beat the other person rather than to just get their point across. And people ask me why I'm so good at arguing, and I think that's low-key why. Like, because I think like these people, again, who set that system up, they want to get a jab, they want to get a one-liner off. I want to get to you like the actual fucking point of what we're talking about. The thing is, in regards to this in general, bro, the reacting to this and completely ignoring what he's actually saying is proving his point. Like some of y'all are so stuck on feminism, and I put feminism in quotations because it's not actually real feminism half the time. You're so stuck on it that you ignore all other forms of oppression and also ignore common sense. And I'm not going to do the thing where I go through like a bunch of, because basically every comment I see, every repost I see is basically them having those core misunderstandings that I talked about basically, okay? But basically, here we go. So I forgot, this was up here, I had to prepare myself. It says, black men sit up here genuinely believing they can't uphold the patriarchy because it's a white man system, as if black women don't exist and black men and boys can't oppress black women and girls. Bro, do you notice how many of these words were just completely put in his mouth from this sentence that does not remotely imply what this young lady is saying it implies? And again, the sentence in question is who set that system up, not who's upholding the system. Because here's the thing. If we answered who's upholding the system, the answer to that question would be a lot more uncomfortable for some of them, okay? Because both men and women are very much contributing to the existence and health of the overall patriarchy. Now, mind you, I'm sure there are black men who think that they can't uphold patriarchy, but those black men are wrong, they're stupid, and they deserve to be ridiculed. But when that's something that was never said and you're just throwing it out there, again, classic Twitter move, you're making the whole conversation just idiotic. Scrolling down, but isn't he talking about white women here? But he's talking about how he, because he's a black man, can't uphold the patriarchy since a white woman said it. Like what? Like, do you see how this sentence doesn't even make sense? And like the whole pancake and waffles tweet, bro, where it's like you can say that you love pancakes and someone will accuse you of hating waffle. That is legitimately my favorite tweet of all time because the way, and I'm amazed. That's why I'm showing you so much. The way a new sentence was just created out of nowhere. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna get big on you for like this little segment. That's why I'm so hated on Twitter too. And in case you didn't know, because my videos got passed along on Twitter, and then people saw them, and then now it's me saying a bunch of shit I never said. Like for one, I remember I thought TikTok was bad with like misquoting people. I've never been quoted accurately on TikTok, but when I tell you the accuracy on Twitter, bro, like those things where they're like, oh, I've recreated this beat with such and such accuracy. My accuracy on TikTok, it would be like they recreate it with like 60% accuracy. You know what I mean? Like at least like some of my original shit was there. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I see how you went to that conclusion. On Twitter, it's probably like 20% accuracy, where it's like one word I used and then completely a misconstrued thing around it. Because like literally, that's what they did here. All they know is he's talking about the patriarchy, and they're making up this thing where he said apparently that he can't perpetuate it. And look at this person in the comments is no, he's saying he didn't set that system up, which again, as we've established in that video, is true. And this person literally said, but nobody alive today set the system up. So it's like, are you acknowledging that this is a BS question that is actually not a gotcha moment at all? And it says the who set that system up is referring to men, since basically every culture has misogyny in some form. If you're a man, you automatically benefit from that system since it was created by men for men. Okay, but again, you acknowledge nobody alive set that system up. You're simply saying that men benefit. If your point is that men benefit, then just say men benefit. But it's like, you also understand this doesn't make sense in context, because if you're talking about the concept of men, like, complaining about this, that, this, and that, like, are you basically just saying, oh, well, you benefit from the patriarchy too? Like, what kind of argument is that? Like, shouldn't you want men to see how crappy the patriarchy is? Like, isn't it good that men are like, oh, these patriarchal things are bad? Like, I feel like if I was someone with 50% of a brain, if someone was hating on the system that was oppressing me greatly, I'd be like, yeah, do you see how bad it is? You see how much that sucks? I would not hit him with the, oh, but the system, it's also pretty good for you. And again, I need you to understand, not everyone benefits from the patriarchy in the same way, okay? Or not nearly the same amount. So the implication that there's just like, it's a cakewalk for men because the patriarchy, particularly men, if you think it's a cakewalk for men of color, obviously you're dumb for a lot of reasons, because you're ignoring intersectionality, you're ignoring racism a lot of the time. Sometimes people ignore homophobia. But even for straight white men, if you think the average straight white man benefits as much from the patriarchy as, say, Donald Trump, for instance, you are not a smart human being. If you think a cis white man has nothing to complain about in life, bro, you're an idiot. There's simply, like, the system was not set up for the people. The system was set up for the elites. And, newsflash, if you're not a cis, straight, white male who has millions to billions of dollars at their disposal, you're not one of the elites. And that means these people that you're arguing with online also probably aren't the elites. So not only did they not set up the system, because nobody today set up the system, but even if the system was being set up today, they wouldn't have been the ones to set up the system. So do we see how stupid it is to ask a man, period, but particularly a black man, who set that system up? I'm begging you all to do better, because no progress will be made if we keep just making stupid taglines like this. And plus, trust me, it's not just women making stupid taglines. I promise you. Absolutely, certain races do it, certain other groups do it. It's just, for some reason, oppressed groups love to get those lyrical sayings. I wasn't going to give this example because it's another hot button issue, but the whole black people can't be racist thing, when by definition, black people can be racist. They're just these things, these lines that oppressed people decide to say because it makes them feel better about being oppressed. And again, being oppressed is bad. You can't necessarily blame them for the fact that they want to cope with it in ways that they can. However, you have to acknowledge that there are some ways of coping with your oppression that are reinstilling your own oppression. Like you asking a man who set that system up after he's complaining about the patriarchy, or honestly, in any real context. You are digging your own metaphorical grave. You are being a tool in your own oppression, which, as the internet has shown us, a lot of people are doing. So many people are doing. And I think I have another video about that coming up soon. But yeah, that's this video. Okay, don't ask who set the system up. Don't. It's stupid. Don't do that, please. I'm begging you, bro. I need that trend to end, right? I don't know how it hasn't been shut down by the masses. Like, we need some sort of movement of people with common sense to just put a stop to all this foolishness. But you know how that shit go. But yeah, that's essentially the video. I don't know how long this video is, so if it's short, I'm sorry. But dude, when I tell you, I've been up for so long getting content done, dog. Took like 6 caffeine pills, okay? Because I told myself, right? Because I kind of had been like a bit behind. Like, I've been doing things like the day of, like recording. Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna have to post in a second. Oh yeah, but I decided, I was like, bro, I've been behind. You know, I've been having to like record and post things the day of a lot of the time. Which this is gonna be the day of, but like, I got so many TikToks done. I think I'll be able to focus on a YouTube video when I wake up, basically. And it's like 8 a.m. No, it is 8 a.m. I forgot I'm in Pacific time now. But yeah, I was like, everything's been so late. I was like, you know, it gives me these moments where I'll sit down for a second and I'll be like, oh, I'm relaxing, but then I'll be thinking like, I got to get shit done. I think I just have to go insane for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, especially like back like a couple months ago at this point, I was a little bit insane. You know, I was just constantly doing content all the time. Okay. But I'm like, I feel like I could get a little more insane than that. Like, just basically get as much shit done until I have a mental breakdown. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that might be the move. Because then at that point, because dude, the amount of TikToks I have on my phone right now, like, I recorded at least 6 on each account, on each of the 3 accounts. So I recorded probably over 20, which I feel like doesn't sound like that much, but you gotta remember, I'd be yapping for like minutes at a time. So then I'm imagining also, I wake up, maybe this time get the YouTube video done first, or record 20 more, as a matter of fact. Because again, I don't think I'm ready for the daily uploads again. But again, I'm hyping, like I'm gonna get like more and more frequent until then I can just go bang, 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 bang back to the daily. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on content, putting out content until I'm literally like tweaking. Just because like, I don't know, I feel like that's the move right now. And I'm kind of excited to see where my tweaking content goes. Because I forgot I think I saw like in some form of media, someone was just like tweaking. And I was like, maybe that's the move. I want to say, dude, these caffeine pills got me so wired. Now, the thing about them, I can't take them every day, though. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I feel like doing this now, I'm going to be in less of like, because there's so many times like I'm just in that in between where I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I want to lay down, but I know I got stuff to do. So it's kind of keeping me up. But now it's like I can just go, I can straight. Because I'd also be in situations where I'm like, okay, I have videos for the morning, or I'm gonna sleep in a little bit, and then I'm gonna have to record a bunch of videos when I first wake up. But like now, all my alarms are for is there's gonna be my posting alarms, and I can go to sleep and I can wake up whenever. So I'm wake up well rested, and I'm so stoked. When I wake up, I'm gonna be able to record more without worrying about messing up my algorithm by being on TikTok. Because if you're on TikTok like too soon after you post, sometimes it messes up what you got going on. But yeah, I feel like, which unfortunately, this is gonna fuck up my sleep schedule. I hope that doesn't affect how my hoes view me. But anyways, productivity. Okay, you know what gets hoes? Productivity. Okay, so I low-key don't give a damn. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna start tweet because I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like I definitely have good sane content. But there's content where I'm literally just saying how I feel. And like, you know, it'll pop off a bit. Like there was this TikTok where I was talking about like pregnant women and how I feel about them. And people really, it resonated with them, not gonna lie. It actually didn't resonate with them, but that's why the video blew up. Because people were like, what? Like what? Because I was basically saying, I was like, I find pregnant women attractive. And like, they were like, what? Like people were amazed by it, bro. Like they thought I was insane. They called me a madman. But yeah, no, and I remember I was just like laying down. Like I was probably either about to go to sleep or just woke up at the time, wasn't really thinking. So I'm like, bro, what if I just record content without thinking? And then I do content on content on content. I have shit to say. I'm an intuitive nigga. Like I feel like that shit could smack. Like I think it could go crazy. Like if I just start doing things impulsively, like I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna see how it works. Because here's the thing, if it doesn't work, you know, and you know, I'm like, oh man, being impulsive isn't the move. I can always just stop doing it. But I don't know, being impulsive, because I feel like I've been a bit too like stationary. So then again, like you know, I've just been laying down. I'm like, oh man, I wasn't productive today. But now I can really let me go insane. You know what I mean? Like let me just be insane for the sake of being insane. Yeah, I like it. But anyways, Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Everything I have to say, I'm so sorry, and I love you. Okay, have a great day, night, evening, morning.